Kirby Bulborb's review of my review of the final trial of Trooper Village Stories was the most disappointing thing since my son Pikmin 3. Never before have I been more infuriated by a review of my review of a finale of a series. It doesn't even make any sense. Okay. I gotta bring some context here. So Kirby Bulborb made a follow-up video to my review of his final episode of his series over about 5 months late. But whatever. He said some things that are objectively wrong and I have to correct him. His first point attacked a point I made in the last video. I said, Dadsuki is a bad character. He was never previously brought up and was just a combination of Dio and Natsuki, being nothing more than just a convoluted joke anime references that kills a lot of my favorite characters from his series and then just leaves and then they just have a happy ending. Now, Kirby retorted with the fact that he actually went to the creator of the person who made Dadsuki, the image, and got permission to use the character in his series. I did not expect this. Good job, bro. I don't ever ask for permission to use all my stolen characters. But still, it doesn't mean anything. The character is still bad. His next point was that I made just too many stupid anime references in my series too, citing my finale.
Because your finale is literally a carbon copy of the end of Evangelion.
Implying he means End of Twig and Pik-pik as a carbon copy of End of Evangelion. Okay, it's time to go down the rabbit hole. Rabbit hole. Get it? Rabbit. I'm out of character now. I'm no longer Twig. When I go back to Twig, you'll see my hand in the shot. I've already made a video on this, on why I ended Twig and Pik-pik, ended in quotations. That'll be linked in the description. The point of that video was to basically say that Twig and Pik-pik was never truly good, and it had to be ended eventually. It was at its peak around Season 3, the show, Season 4, and then the show, Season 2. That was the peak. Everything before it was terrible, relatively. I mean, it wasn't, like, super terrible, but it was really badly made. I'd never made a series before. And then everything after is, I guess, worse. Twig and Pik-pik was an experimental plush series to begin with. Season 6 was undoubtedly some of the worst of Twig and Pik-pik because it does, in fact, have carbon copy scenes from the anime Evangelion and the anime film End of Evangelion. But I can't stress this enough. The original outline for seasons 4 to 6 were all written at once. I wrote it within the same time frame. I don't remember the exact time frame. But this included End of Twig and Pik-pik. I think I was like 14, 15. I was like an edgy teenager that liked Evangelion's experimental storytelling. I had no mentor. I had no one telling me like, oh, this is how you write. I had no one. I had no one to share my scripts and outlines with. No one was telling me what I was doing was wrong. I had no one. To me, everything was going correctly. Everything was going according to my original outline. I believed in my head that basically retelling Evangelion with my Pikmin characters was a good idea. It wasn't until I was knee-deep in Season 6 that people started saying that something was wrong. But of course, I believed it was correct, and I ignored it. Season 6 ends with nearly every character dead, and a promise for a grand finale that'll fix everything. At this point, I'd written myself into a hole. Infamously, Crusader Studios, another YouTuber, friend of mine, warned me, in fact, that the finale I had been putting together was terrible. He said it was a mistake. I ignored him because I was stubborn. Now, in the video I linked, I mentioned that the End of Twig and Pik-pik is a narrative essay towards my fans. That's what it eventually became when I put all three things together and I made it one movie. That, at that point, is a narrative essay. But more so, it's better described as damage control. I had to write myself out of that hole, somehow. I released the 3 parts of the finale with almost a year of time in between each one, and that's because every time I made a part, so every time I made part 1, part 2, I became even angrier with myself, and I tried harder and harder to damage control and course correct what I had done. Kirby Bulborb says the finale. Kirby Bulborb said,
your finale is literally a carbon copy of the end of Evangelion.
Actually, there is arguably only 4 scenes from End of Evangelion referenced in End of Twig and Pik-pik. The Cum Saucer Todd sequence, the short clip of Pik-pik looking at the moon, the short clip of Twig looking at water, and the scene where Twig is trying to get Sunny to wake up. Those are the only scenes that are actually from End of Evangelion. Everything else is relatively original with some direct retellings of Evangelion scenes and then mostly original scenes. Part 3 of End of Twig and Pik-pik is literally, like, it makes fun of the last 2 parts, and it literally bashes the fact that they even existed to begin with. There is nothing that pains me more than the negativity circulating around the finale of End of Twig and Pik-pik. I still have people complaining that, like, to this day, I have people who tell me, they complain to me, I ended the series badly. They will not stop talking about that. During the in-between months of the parts of End of Twig and Pik-pik, guess what I made? I made the Steve Saga, which was the real ending to the series. I basically didn't even acknowledge that the End of Twig and Pik-pik was happening. I just said, oh, everyone's fine. Everyone's fine. Everyone's alive. The Steve Saga. Everyone's alive. Ignore that. Ignore the End of Twig and Pik-pik. I know it was a mistake. The Steve Saga is the real finale, and then in the end, Starlight Platinum became the actual true final ending to the Twig and Pik-pik story. It literally has Twig and Pik-pik fighting God. Like, honestly, I think that, like, how could anyone ever think the End of Twig and Pik-pik is the finale when it's nothing more than just a narrative essay and damage control? It's basically just me saying, no. Like, holy shit, guys. Like, I know you don't like it. I don't like it. But stop bringing it up like it's the ending, because it isn't. If I was any other YouTuber, I would have deleted the videos and made them not canon. And, like, sometimes when people really attack it years after release, I kind of just want to delete them. But I won't, because I like to cherish the fact that they existed to begin with. And I don't want to, like, take away that ability to watch the videos, because I already take away all the other, like, I unlist a lot of other, like, random stupid videos, but I don't want to enlist the plush videos because I still consider them important to my legacy and to allow people to be able to watch them. One of my biggest inspirations when I was a kid was George Lucas and Star Wars. Everyone loves the original Star Wars movie he created, and then the 2 sequels that he helped shape. They loved it so much, they let him make 3 more movies. They made him make the prequel movies that he had planned for about 15 years. But the prequels, everyone hated them. They were ravaged by fans. People bullied the actors that played young Anakin and Jar Jar Binks. And they said that George Lucas, quote, and this is an awful quote, I hate it, raped their childhood. That's awful. Why would anyone say that? No one ever told George Lucas that what he was writing, what he had planned for the prequels, was a bad idea. And no one was gonna say, oh, this is a bad idea, because it was about money, about success, and if the original Star Wars worked, then anything he would write would have worked. I'm not saying that I was on that same level, because I wasn't. Sometimes it's just about communication, and if no one stops you, then you might write yourself into a hole. You might write something that people don't like. In fact, people hated what George Lucas did, that his plans for Star Wars episodes 7, 8, and 9 of Star Wars, he shelved them indefinitely. He canceled all plans to make them because he was worried that people would hate them. And what's funny now is that Disney is making Star Wars, and even though they're not using George's plans, those are gone. I think they've been thrown out. People are still mad about Star Wars. And so my point is, I have learned, just as you have, Kirby Bulborb, there is trickiness of writing a story to make people happy. The truth is, I was mad about your finale because you didn't use the ideas that we wrote together. All those years ago, me and Kirby Bulborb, we wrote a finale to his series. Well, we started to write one, but he scrapped all the ideas because he didn't want to use it, and that's fair. That's fine. You can do that. The original bad guy was never Dadsuki, the character I hate. It was an original villain named Grandatina or something, and it was to be built up in the episodes that came before it, in like the last few episodes. Then the character Doc Kermit Frogleg from his series was supposed to return and help the heroes defeat this new villain using a plot point that was mentioned earlier, the dimensional back travel diamonds. The reason why I don't like the finale is not because it was badly written. Yes, it is badly written, but that's not the reason why I don't like it. I don't like it because I helped you write something better that you didn't use, and I'm mad at myself for never stopping you. If I had someone back then when I was writing End of Twig and Pik-pik, like Crusader Studios, but actually like pushed me against my stubbornness and told me that what I was writing was bad and to make something better. And if I actually listened, I would have done it. I would have made a better finale, but I can't go back. So the reason why I'm mad at your finale is because I'm jealous that you had the opportunity to fix it, but you didn't take that opportunity. Also, yes, I'm aware that my wife doesn't talk. She hasn't spoken in years. I think she's broken. If you actually do make your planned sequel series, which I don't have any expectations for, I understand that you're growing as a person, and plush videos aren't exactly your future. But if you do make the sequel series, as you call it, Trooper Village Stories Awakening, then I hope that you don't go down the rabbit hole like I did. I hope you make something amazing and truly worthwhile, like Steve or Starlight Platinum. Okay? Alright. Hope this clears it up. Goodbye.
Billy!